We as children and subsequently as grown-ups have been told that India lives in villages and its development means only rural development. Indirectly, it meant that the urban areas were not in the focus and consequently received negligible budgetary support. Thus, governments after governments, following this flawed approach, neglected urban areas for 6 long decades since India's independence. No wonder our cities, rather than being creators of wealth, had become accumulators. While people moved from the rural to the urban in search of opportunities for education and employment, the policymakers continue to neglect these areas. Recognizing the fact that urban and rural areas are integral part of the habitat and that genuine development would have to ensure the development of both the urban and the rural areas, for the first time in India, the government of Gujarat, under the inspirational leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, declared 2005 as the year of urban development. During this particular year, the urban sector was brought into focus and the Urban Development Department undertook various initiatives. That today, Ahmedabad has reached here to be one of the LKY World Cities Award finalists is mainly because of the vision the state of Gujarat and the city of Ahmedabad pursued during the last 7 years. Of course, the city always had a sound platform to build on and usher in a series of infrastructure projects. We had a city development plan prepared in 2002-3. Our estimates were a measly US 120 million US dollars, just about 24 million US dollars during the 5-year period of 2003 to 2008. This is based on a revenue surplus of around 6 million US dollars in 1998-2002. This level of annual investment in infrastructure would certainly not have taken us anywhere. Our infrastructure deficiencies were huge. The typical infrastructure deficiencies were water coverage, inadequate water coverage, storm drainage coverage, wastewater collection, wastewater treatment, 32% of our areas living in slums, urban transport in a very poor state, and one of the most polluted cities in terms of air pollution. We needed a paradigm shift in priorities and a major intervention. The programs during the urban development year 2005 focused on path-breaking systemic initiatives, not just popular programs. During this period, the municipal area increased from 190 to 466 square kilometers, and the newly merged areas were largely underserviced. This also meant an additional population addition of 1.5 million. During this period, we lost one of our most elastic sources of revenue, that's octroi, which was contributing to 70% of our total city's revenue. This had to be abolished as it was building inefficiencies, but the revenue lost to the city was significant, and there was no alternative own source of revenue which was as elastic. We began our journey with our elected wing going on a study tour of the world cities. You will be happy to note that our leaders began their study tour from this city of Singapore. Since seeing is believing, and having seen what good quality infrastructure in Singapore means and how quality of life can be improved, our decision makers were ready to take future plans based on big dreams. We prepared our city development plan 2006 to 2012 with a sustainable investment level for the period of 2006 to 2012 at 2,100 million US dollars. That is an annual capital investment of 350 million US dollars per year. This was 17 times higher than the previous plan, which was made just 3 years before. This is possible through major revenue reforms. User charges were introduced on all services. Through use of information technology, taxable property identification was strengthened. Therefore, through such efforts, the city increased its revenue performances manyfold. The capital expenditure, which is basically the expenditure on projects, increased by 9 times, and the revenue surplus increased by 13 times during this period. The results were evident. We made significant improvements in water coverage, storm drainage, wastewater collection, wastewater treatment, and constructed 34,000 new houses for the urban poor. We also made sure that and then we introduced CNG buses and converted all auto rickshaws to CNG. Today, from a 66th most polluted city in India in terms of air pollution, through such measures, we have from 4th, we have now become 66th. The air pollution quality has significantly reduced. While AMC, that is Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, excelled on all fronts, our achievements on 4 projects, that is BRTS, there is a snapshot of BRTS here, the Kankaria Lake Development and the Sabarmati Riverfront Development Project and housing for the urban poor. These are the 4 projects that are worthy of special mention. I'll briefly dwell on these. Janmarg, that is the bus rapid transit system, which is the first full BRTS in India, has been rated as one of the best BRT systems in the world. It has so far received 9 awards, national and international. The system began planning in 2005, tenders were issued in 2007, and the system opened for public in 2009. Today, the BRTS system covers 45 kilometers of exclusive network and operates 112 buses to carry around 140,000 people every day. The network is expanding with another 45 kilometers under construction and another 40 kilometers under planning. With 135 kilometers of network, the system will be one of the largest in the world, and upon completion in 2014, it is estimated to cater to over 600,000 to 800,000 trips every day. This, along with the metro project that is coming, will complement the integrated public transport scene in the city. This project was aimed at making Ahmedabad accessible by making the network extensive and taking it to the city center, connecting it to the activity and transport nodes, and more importantly, taking it through areas inhabited by low and lower income, middle income groups. This system, in its monthly evaluation system, has consistently received a rating of 8.5 out of 10 since we began commercial operations in 2009. Segregated corridors, beautiful bus stations in the median, which are designed for universal accessibility, external ticketing through smart cards and tokens, level boarding, rapid with more than 26 kilometers per hour coverage, reliable, frequent with 130-second headway during peak hours, and affordable, probably the lowest bus fare in the world, and it's safe and secure. These are some of the unique features of the BRTS in Ahmedabad. The people of Ahmedabad are proud of this system. It is also popular among the visitors. Since 2009, the city has received 144 national and international delegations for its BRTS projects. Talking about the other project, that's the Kankaria Lakefront Development Project. The historical Kankaria Lake is an expanse of around 4 square kilometers of permanently filled water body located on the southeastern part of the city. It has been the symbol of Ahmedabad's identity since almost 500 years. It was an urban chaos characterized by unclean ghats, traffic chaos, unorganized street vendors. The periphery wall was in a dilapidated state. The lake precincts presented a somewhat unclean and disorganized environment. Vehicle parking often blocked the view, and visiting children and women had a hard time amidst the noise, traffic, and the resultant chaos. Kankaria had also gained notoriety as a suicide point. The project for redevelopment of the city, of the lake, and its precincts was taken up by Municipal Corporation in 2006 and completed in 2008. The opportunity was seen not only as a solution for organized lakefront, but exploring its potential to convert it into an international quality urban public space. It was executed in a record time of 18 months, involving an expenditure of around $7 million. The development of the lakefront created facilities like trains, gardens, tethered balloons, water sports, amusement park, and a kids city. AMC adopted a model of service delivery of these recreational activities with use of capable and experienced private sector players. Due to these initiatives, a chaotic spot has been converted into a well-organized zone through a planned thinking and systematic approach. It's an exemplary transformation of a public place into a widely accessible, environmentally friendly, and a high-quality urban precinct. It has demonstrated a useful model for incorporation of project-affected people like the food vendors into the project. It would be interesting to note that 16 million visitors visit during the weekends, and we have been holding Kankaria carnivals on the lakefront from 2008 consecutively. During morning hours, approximately 7,500 health-conscious citizens living in the nearby area of the Kankaria lakefront regularly visit the lakefront for jogging and morning walks. The third important project which we are proud of is the Sabarmati River Development Project. We have taken up one multi-dimensional environmental improvement and urban rejuvenation project at an estimated cost of $275 million. Since years together, Sabarmati River, Ahmedabad's solitary water resource, has been abused by the fast pace of urban and industrial growth. Though the Sabarmati has been a major source of water for the city, the riverfront remained neglected and ignored. The stormwater outlets used to perennially pollute the environment due to illegal release of sewage into the riverbed. The Sabarmati Riverfront project covered a length of 10 kilometers of riverbank in the city area and is a bold step to stop this abuse. It aims to undo the years of human neglect. It has diverted wastewater from coming into the river and created protection for the riverbed, minimized flood risk, and provided alternative housing to approximately 11,000 people who were living in slums on the riverbank. The project is developed on a cost recovery basis through a land development of 202 hectares of reclaimed land to create an eco-friendly, iconic urban neighborhood in the heart of the city. The commercial development of hotels, corporate houses, malls, exhibition centers on 14% of this reclaimed land would fetch us an investment of 1,400 million US dollars. This will also create cultural and recreational amenities for the city in the form of water sports, floating restaurants, museums, and theaters. This project under implementation has been awarded the prestigious Prime Minister of India's National Award for Excellence in Urban Planning and Design. Housing for urban poor is one of our major activities which I wanted to have a special mention here. Ahmedabad, acclaimed as one of the most pro-poor cities, has taken many initiatives on its own. We do a slum networking program, the toilet schemes, the water connections and sewerage connections to the urban poor, a multi-pronged approach consisting of in-situ slum improvement, new public housing, affordable transport and housing through land sharing, and public-private partnership model has been adopted by the municipal corporation. The multi-pronged approach constitutes one of the key highlights of Ahmedabad's strategy for the urban poor, whereby it launched an ambitious plan to construct 110,000 houses for the urban poor under the Rajiv Awas Yojana and the JNURM. Land was given free and dwelling units, a 2-bedroom dwelling unit at a subsidized rate, along with all the infrastructures like water supply, drainage, sewerage, paved areas, schools and health center and community center. As a part of this initiative, 34,000 houses construction had started, 24,000 houses have been completed and occupied by the beneficiaries. The beneficiaries are provided residence with 2 rooms, kitchen, bath, toilet and a balcony having a built-up area of 36 square meters. AMC's Ahmedabad's valuable land has been used free of cost for the construction of the houses for urban poor. The total cost of the unit comes to rupees 4.55 lakh Indian rupees without the land cost, whereas the beneficiary has to pay a very small amount through a long-term loan of rupees 66,000. Further, the allotment of the dwelling unit is done in the name of the wife rather than the husband, contributing to gender empowerment and preventing the sale of houses. And affordable public transport is also made available to this population. When I give these examples of physical infrastructure, please do not be under the impression that our focus is limited to physical infrastructure. We have started a great deal of work on the social front too. On the health sector, while the private sector caters to the rich and the middle income segment, the poor need access to a reliable health care. We run 4 hospitals and 57 urban health centers. The city government has established a medical trust and runs 2 medical colleges, 1 dental college, and trains almost 500 doctors every year. What we have done so far has not been easy. There were risks. We have managed to reach our goals due to the leadership and guidance we constantly received from the state government, our chief minister, our mayor, and other functionaries, support of our colleagues, national and the local media, institutions in Ahmedabad, and more importantly, the citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, when I list all of these, I am not saying that we have done everything that we needed to do. But I can certainly say that we have made a good beginning and have taken rapid strides in pursuance of a goal of building a stronger Ahmedabad. We have a long and more difficult path to move ahead. While Ahmedabad may provide inspiration to some, we also take inspiration from other cities. Once again, I thank the jury for selecting Ahmedabad as one of the special mention cities for the Lee Kuan Yew World City Prize 2012. This reiterates that we are on the right path, have moved great distances towards the target, a sustainable city. Further, it also encourages us to remain dedicated to making Ahmedabad an even better place for our future generations and an example for a city that cares for its people. Thank you so much. Have a great day.